From the banks of the murky Cape Fear, the Atlantic sandy shore, Port City's gonna rock you till you're screaming out for more. Before the full moon rises and you drift off to your dreams, baby, click your mouse, I take you to that sonic scene. Sonic, 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 yeah, yeah, Sonic, 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 yeah, yeah, Sonic, 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 yeah.
Anytime, cause if you got a minute, damn it if I can't find the time. Breaking legs, losing clothes, breaking blue, but again, life's trying to move in the face. But the vision, sharing vision, we give a toast to a hand of help. Drops out with death. We give a toast to a hand of help. Give a motherfucking gods of death. Give a toast to a hand of help. Give a motherfucking gods of death. Let's go. What do you my friend? You know I'll be that good to you. What do you my friend? You know I'll be that good to you. Cause you rock about being knocked out. Got the catacombs, how we go home. Dictating and waiting all those crazy nights. Lost and messed up, but I'm not alone. And I don't think I'm alone tonight, my boo. 1, 2, let's go!
Hey there, what's happening, Wilmington? I'm Beck Lewis, and welcome to another episode of the Port City Sonic Scene. Today, we are coming to you on a slow and sleepy Sunday from Cape Fear Wine and Beer, and I'm with the Mad Hatters.
Woo!
I know! And I am ecstatic. This is one of my favorite bands. Michael Brandis is one of my favorite ladies, and I'm going to let these boys introduce themselves to you and let them tell you what instruments they play in the band.
I'm Nick Chambers. I'm the saxophone player.
I am Johan Rubeline, and I play the guitar.
Jake Ecker, I'm on drums.
I'm Micah Brandis, trombone.
Josh Petty, vocals.
He sings a little bit. I guess you could.
Sing a bit? Sing much, maybe? Okay. So, Josh, how did you and Micah meet each other?
Oh man, I think it was when we were in high school, and I was seeing a couple girls that went to her school, and she was under the tree, and I said, "Hey, do you play trombone?"
Yeah, he said, "You want to come to band practice?" And I said, "Why the hell not?" I think
Really?
that was in 1997 or 8.
7 or 8, yeah.
See,
That was 7, actually.
You had a little band in high school that you'd already kind of started experimenting with.
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of cool. And Micah, I know you were from the cold, frozen north. You're a Canadian by nature. Was it a culture shock moving down here from Canada?
It's actually pretty easy. The people down here are really welcoming, and the weather is so much nicer. The music scene here is great. The beer scene's great. It's really got everything I want.
Do you think in Canada there's more of like a thriving underground punk rock scene, or sometimes I feel like because Wilmington is such a small market that we miss out on a lot?
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say that there's more up there or there's less up there. It's just different.
Okay.
The genre breakdown is a little different. There's a little more of this or that here or there. There's really no across the board answer, but there's a great music scene up there.
Okay. Hey, this is for everybody. Do you think that alternative, underground, punk rock music's only hope to really have a life is on the internet? This is what I hear from a lot of people, that it's impossible to crack the billboard, it's impossible to get on shelves at Best Buy, it's impossible to get TV and film placement unless you're a modern country, rap, dance like Rihanna or Gaga, or a gangster, you know what I mean, or LA Cheese like Maroon 5. It's just there's no place for you. You don't agree?
That's not true at all.
Weigh in.
I mean, take mindless self-indulgence for example. They're huge. You can get them at Best Buy, and they did everything on their own without any labels. Everything is on their own, and they're huge. You can get them at Best Buy, and you've got plenty of other bands that have followed
bands
that
have been doing that
exact
forever.
same. Yeah, it's
There was a point in time where punk was big. It was Billboard and
Late 70s.
Yeah,
early 80s.
there was a time during the 90s where ska, a lot of people were actually gonna be considering it the new pop. And
Madness.
if you look at it, music kind of moves in cycles. So yeah, maybe it's recycled out now, but that's not to say it won't be back at one point in time.
Wow.
Part of the reason we even started as ska was because when we were in high school, all that was coming out was like the new poppy punk and crap and metal and stuff.
Green Day.
Which before that was just completely,
What was that?
in the underground, and we were just trying to fight
Fred Durst.
that.
And like I said, it all
Yeah.
just depends on what they want to put out at the time. So I mean, like I said, 8 years ago, country music was unpopular. Now, actually, I think country music is like
country
pop music
huge.
is what it is now.
And a lot of rock musicians actually delineate over to that category because they can't find this, like Darius Rucker. You know what I mean?
Well, Darius, he's Hootie, man. Hootie's
And Jewel, they purposefully. But the reasoning behind that is because, like in the 1980s, there were 30 major record labels. Now there are 5. Because of the economy and the corporate conglomerate mergers and the billionaires. It's definitely caused some changes and some homogenization of product. But I think it's great that you guys aren't pessimistic, that you still think there's a place.
No, because the fact of us being able to, our bands being able to record and people being able to download per se, it just makes a band work harder to make new stuff, new material. So it keeps it, and they never will gain all that we have energetically unless they come to a show.
Yeah.
Very true, Josh.
There's labels that aren't mainstream that are very successful.
Yeah.
Epitaph.
Very true. Jack
Hell-
White's label.
Hellcat Records. Fat Records. Stuff like that. They're extremely successful. And
Is smaller label, indie label representation something you guys would consider?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
We gotta keep our options open, that's for sure. We just want to get our tunes out. We just want to get our music out, so we'll consider anything.
Do you guys think that digital downloading hurts musicians? Or do you think what some of my friends say, which is there's no way to make music sell anymore, to actually make profit off of actually selling a song? You get all your profit through merchandise, touring, and licensing.
That's
That's
a large
mostly
part
because-
because shows. Shows basically are where you're going to constantly produce that music, and you want to keep moving forward. And if people are downloading, you just make more music that they want to download more, and then you play the shows because they're never going to get all the energy that we put into a show.
Definitely not.
and it gets your music out.
There's bands I would have never gotten into if I hadn't found them for free on the internet.
The fans are our basis for playing.
Besides,
So-
if you're on a major label, shit, they're making most of the money off of your albums anyway, so you're making the money off your shows. That's where the money comes from.
I mean, the way I see it is, I'd rather have someone listen to our music for free than not listening to it at all.
That's a good point. That's a very good point,
Absolutely.
Jake.
That's why we make music, so it can be heard.
That's why everybody should make music. Music is meant to be heard.
We're all about the energy in the crowd.
Oh yeah.
That's what gets us going.
You are incredible live. I mean, there's
Thank you.
nobody
You
else
get
like you
nuts.
guys in the Port City, period, at all.
Thank you.
It's interesting too, like the Radiohead model of like a love offering, where a band will release an album and just ask the fans to donate, what they think it's worth, and download it for free. I've always thought that was sort of an interesting idea. What are some of you guys' favorite genres of music?
In all fairness, we listen to everything, and we draw a lot of inspiration from music all across the board, all genres. We just kind of put it all together
Thrash.
and come up with
Punk
what
metal.
we think is a pretty unique
Rock.
sound.
Broadway,
Every-
Math
classical.
metal, black metal.
I make
Jazz,
electronic
classical.
music on the side.
Yeah,
I mean,
I like electronic music.
I mean, for the longest time, whenever we were
Jazz,
going,
yeah,
Jazz.
definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm hearing the jazz.
well, we would go on stage for the longest time, we'd put Riding Dirty on, just 'cause, you know, it was kind of funny. You know,
Can't
to get up there.
escape the
Yeah.
gangster rap.
You gotta
Yeah,
learn that.
we all collect from, there's a couple of us that play multiple instruments, so we have a lot, just about
Yeah.
everything except for rap and country, you
That's
know.
why there's 2D.
And I know that
ADD.
ska is a very demanding musical art form. It requires a lot of planning. You have to write out complicated horn parts. You have to truly be able to compose. Do any of you have a formal musical background that assists you in doing this?
I have a theory background as well as Micah.
I think we all do.
Yeah, we all
I
do.
mean,
You
we've
all
all
study
we've all
music?
studied music as
In
much as we
school
can.
Or with a
Yeah.
private teacher?
school, private teacher,
Yeah.
books.
On your
just
own,
you
yeah.
name
Yeah,
it.
you can learn a lot on your own. You can learn a lot from books. That's for
I've
sure.
done school and private teaching, but the most I've learned is in books personally,
Yeah.
because you get to sit down and take the time to get intimate with it instead of
Yeah,
have
at your own
time.
pace.
Yeah.
I've been playing music for 23 years, and I've learned a lot from the books. But I've got to say that most of what I've learned from playing with people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So much.
Absolutely.
Oh, totally.
And of course, when you're in a ska band, you have 6 people, you have 7 people. We were an 11 piece, I
There's
think,
a-
or 12
There's
piece.
a ton of
You
people.
learn a lot from
Right.
playing with different people with different
Absolutely.
backgrounds. You get a lot out of it.
Like I was telling you earlier, we're more like an orchestra as opposed to a jam band.
Definitely,
A collective
definitely.
consciousness of
Do you
music.
do you think you guys have to practice a little bit more diligently or more frequently because you aren't like just a jam loose band?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And one thing we do too, like I said, with having 6 of us in there, if we're practicing and let's say one of us messes up our parts in practice, we stop the song,
Start from the very beginning.
Yep.
until everybody
But
gets
that never
right.
happens. We
That's
never
funny.
mess up.
My piano
Yeah.
teacher would make
Yeah.
me do that, Barney Gelvin. I had to play my pieces 5 times perfectly, and if I messed up, I had to go back and
Yeah.
start again.
Hey, and that makes you try harder because
Oh,
you
yeah.
know how
From
long
Don't
the
want
top.
to do it again.
It gets redundant after a while, but
Okay.
you have to do it. You nail it in there. You
Yeah.
know?
Tell me about the Mad Hatter's writing process. Is it entirely collaborative? Is each person allowed to contribute? Does each person come up with their own part? You were saying you compose sometimes on your guitar and sometimes you come up with horn parts. Do you teach it to the horn players or do you let them do their own thing?
Okay, generally, most of the time, and this is just most of the time, there's exceptions for everything. I'll come in with the guitar part, the horns will come in, and then Josh will come in. But there's been times when the horns come up with a good riff, and I'll fit something around that, and then we'll just start building the song around
And on the
riff
same
they come in
token,
with.
you know, as a guitar player myself, and he plays guitar as well, if we have an idea where we think something would sound better this way or add to a song, we let Johan know, and
Yeah.
he does what
Okay.
he wants to do.
It's all completely collaborative and
Yeah.
definitely democratic.
Very
That's wonderful.
democratic.
It
Yeah,
sounds
very
like it.
democratic.
It
Yeah.
sounds like it.
You got to with these many people.
Do you guys think that in a band there ultimately does have to be an alpha leader, one
No.
person making the
No.
final decision?
I think we've tried
No.
that, and,
And
it's
it doesn't
failed.
work.
Yeah.
And it's
Not for
failed.
us.
Music
Not
can't
for
be
us.
forced. If
Yeah.
you're forcing somebody to do
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
away
No.
rather than to
Yeah.
compromise and play it the way it sounds freely rather than forced, then you're not going to get anywhere.
And like I
If
said,
you got a
with-
dictatorship.
With having all of us too, like I said, not all of us are going to be happy about the same thing. There might be 1 or 2 of us that's kind of on the fence about something, but like I said, if there's
Majority
4 of us
votes
are going
rules.
for it, then
Sure.
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
And that
Okay.
just
You have
makes
to,
it
you have to suck it
easier.
up and say, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not personal.
Yeah.
Have you guys thought about getting professional management or a booking agent so you can get on the college?
We've had
circuit?
bad experiences with
Yeah.
people who want to manage our band and
It
Really?
doesn't mean that we're against it.
We just go in
professionally,
It
it
just
would
means
probably be
that
good.
we are very careful
Cautious.
about it.
Okay.
Because honestly, like, we go to a bar, we have 1 million people sit there and yell in our ear drunkly what they can do and what they can't do for us, and then the next day you never see or hear from them
Yeah.
again.
We're skeptics. We got to
Yeah,
see
I
it to
guess that's
believe
probably
it.
the best way.
Roots society for one another. Talk line anytime, cause if you got a minute, damn it if I can't find the time. Breaking legs with the clothes, like the blue blood again. Life shot of milk in the face. Put the vision, sharing vision, we give a toast to a hand of help. God's out with them. We give a toast to a hand of help. Give a motherfucking God's of help. Give a toast to a hand of help. Give a motherfucking God's of help. Let's go. I'm gonna be my friend. You don't be that friend to you. Want to be my friend. You don't be that friend to you. Cause you are about being knocked out. Got the kind of coins that we all know. Dictate narrating all those crazy nights. Lost and messed up, but I'm not alone. And I don't think I'm alone tonight, my dude. 1, 2, let's go!
And we're taking care of everything on our own. We're doing a pretty good job with it.
We got it.
Yeah, Micah, do you feel like your skills as an independent businesswoman help you out with managing the band more professionally and booking gigs?
I'd say so. And I mean, I made a lot of contacts in the beer industry, so you know, I know a lot of people to call for shows and just to bring a lot of people out to actually see us play.
Yes.
Kind of like having a built-in fan base.
Like I said, you know,
Also with with money management, time management.
Definitely money and
Certainly
time
hasn't
and
hurt.
resources.
It's
yeah.
nice that people know you want to book the Mad Hatters.
Yeah.
Come here
Come
to
down.
Come
find
to Cape for
them.
Wine and Beer and
Yeah,
talk to
come-
Micah.
come-
Yeah.
It's like having
She can get it done.
an office.
Yeah.
Sitting
Yeah.
there right down
Well,
the
yeah.
street. You know?
Yeah, and here we are, for example.
Step into my office.
You're
Speaking
in the
like a
office.
beverage.
Speaking of the Queen, is it different to have a chick in the band? Does it change the energy at all,
Yeah.
or is it just another badass
Just
musician
another
to play with?
person.
Yeah.
Well,
It's just another
Yeah.
person in
Musician.
the band.
honestly, actually, we were just talking the other day when we read the question. At first we said no, but then we thought that there are other times when Mike has made valid points that we've paid attention to, that we as misogynists, not really, I'm being
Men.
joking
Yeah.
on this,
Okay.
have not really considered, and she's like, no, you know, you don't want to do that, you
Yeah.
don't want to do this, and we've been like, actually, that's a great point.
Yeah.
And I mean,
So-
we've had another female in the band before.
Yeah,
as
we-
well.
yeah.
That's right, I
It's-
remember.
Yeah.
so
The way we go about it is basically just treat them like, you know, another talented musician, you know.
That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Artists
Because that's what it
coming
is
together-
essentially.
Coming together
it's
collectively.
she's never changed the energy. She fits perfectly in with the energy that we've always had.
Yeah.
Sure. She just offers maybe a different perspective or point of
perspectives
view
is what
sometimes.
she offers.
Yeah.
Well, and
it's
whether
great.
that's because I'm a female or not, I don't really think it matters. I think we all just have different perspectives, and I don't.
Well,
wanna-
yeah, everyone
Yeah.
has their own.
I don't want to be
perspective.
treated differently.
I know.
I just want to be treated the same. And I mean, there's been times where I walk into the club and they're like, "Oh, are you just one of the guys' girlfriends?
Right.
Are you
I
just
love
the
that.
merch
Are you
girl?"
doing
And I'm
merch
like,
today?
"No, actually,
Go set your
I'm."
t-shirt table up,
she's,
honey.
She's
Yeah.
not a pretty face. She's a kick-ass musician. Is
Yeah.
what she is.
Yeah, she's all
You,
of that.
you are pretty.
But
Kick-ass
even
musician.
beyond the beauty, there's brains and talent.
She
galore.
was just suggesting that we could get our old trombone back and maybe she'd pick up bass. And I was like, hell no. You stay on that
Yeah.
trombone.
Yeah, Micah is incredible to watch her play on her trombone. The horn is just,
Oh, yeah.
it's just so great, you guys. When you come see the Mad Hatters, you are going to be in for a show and a treat. Lastly, and this is for everybody. What do you think is the most essential element required to be a rock and roll musician?
Patience.
Oh yeah.
Patience.
Timing.
Okay, I'll each go. So we'll start with you, Nick.
Patience, man. If you don't have the chops to deal with unprofessionalism, every aspect comes to it. And if you can't deal with it, you can't do it.
Okay, Johan.
I'd say drive. I always tell our bassists, if by the time when you are sitting at your house practicing your instrument, you do not put your instrument down until you got to the point that you are so frustrated that you cannot bear to play anymore. You have to always up yourself every time you play.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
I'm pretty much with Eric on that one too. It's just not being content. I find if you get to the point as a musician to where you're content on how you play, then you might as well hang it up.
You'll
because
never get any
you're never
better.
going to get any better at it if you're not constantly, like you said, having the drive.
So ambition,
Yeah, you
drive,
got-
challenging
yeah,
yourself,
you have. That's the
not
only
being
way.
happy with
yeah.
the status quo. Okay, Micah.
I agree with my guys. I mean, you just got to keep pushing. Also keep the PMA, the positive mental attitude, because it's a rough business.
Napoleon Rich.
Yeah, it's a rough business.
Secret.
It's rough to get in it when you're young. It's rough to be in it when you're a female. So
It's
just-
easy to
just
become
gotta-
cynical and jaded.
Totally, and it's also just that musicians are a different breed. Our brains function a little differently than the rest of the world, and so you just gotta kind of keep doing your thing, keep plugging along.
You keep believing in yourself, for sure. Okay, last.
I just say I agree also with these guys, and I also say with Drive you got to have love, because there's a lot of things.
Don't leave out
If
the
you
love.
don't consider, like, sometimes I'll have a 10-year-old come up to me, and if I act like I'm an old fogey that's been playing music for a long time and I just shrug him off, then I'm not appreciating the fact that he still loves
Oh,
you know,
man.
the-
Those are
They're
the people
heroes.
that are going to grow up to talk about you and to carry
they
on
have.
your legacy.
Yeah, see, that's one thing
Yeah.
especially now because we've been playing for so long, we have people come up or in bands now, they're like, well, we started a band because we came out this
Oh, that's great.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's been a couple times where people
Okay.
have come up and said that, so it's,
I love it.
like
Keep
that's-
it going, man.
Yeah, we
Circle moves on.
we are
Yeah.
really into playing all age shows or at least 18 and up.
Yes.
I don't
I
like.
prefer all
I don't prefer. I prefer not to go into a bar that's 21 and up, and all I'm going to get is people that are there to drink. I want people
A
that
collective
They're there for the
crowd.
music.
with
They're to
energy.
listen.
We
Yeah.
want energy. We want
Energy, youth,
an
vibrancy.
eclectic
Okay.
crowd of people.
Right, I love it. I love it. Well, Matt Hatters, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
Thank
meeting
you for
with
having us
me.
out here.
Thanks,
You're so welcome. I had an awesome time. All right, come by Cape for Wine and Beer and talk to this girl, and she'll give you the 411. Until then, you guys stay safe and keep rocking.